Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of Kill of the Week. I am one of your co-hosts. I am Brandon. I am sitting with a lot of my cohorts here. Sitting next to me, I have Jill. Next to Jill is Carly. On cam, we have Jess, and we have special guests for us tonight. We have James. And tonight, this is James's kill, so I'm going to have James tell us what we're watching. So, James, tell us what it is that we're watching.
What we are watching is TJ Miller's death. His character's name is Lucas in Transformers 4, Age of Extinction. How many of you guys are familiar with like the Transformers movies just in general? Like, have you watched all of them?
I watched the first.
Right.
You watched one of them?
I definitely watched the first one, and I actually think I've seen some of this one.
I've watched 1, 2, 3, 4, and I stopped there.
How many?
And that's it. And that's appropriate.
I think I watched the first one.
I've seen the first 3 a lot.
I feel like everyone's seen the first one. The first one's really decent for what it was, you know.
The first one I remember watching and being okay with it. When it hit the second one and literally everything was a fucking Transformers when I lost it.
But it's so cool. Like, yeah, the toaster's a Transformer. Come
Yeah,
on.
that's right.
Sick.
That's where I drew the line.
I feel like I missed something.
Well, and the first one has like an Xbox as a Transformer. You know, there's like a little product placement there. But
I mean, all right. So the first Transformer is when I realized that Megan Fox was always sticky.
She did look very
Yeah,
sticky.
I don't think I ever watched it because that's how you always described it. I was like, why would I want to watch
sticky. It's crazy.
It was sticky.
Yeah.
She was just very moisturized. Maybe it was really sweaty and humid. Come on.
Was she moist?
She was moist.
She was moist. Listen,
Yeah.
the third one's the best one.
Megan Moist
Was it
Fox.
like maximum moist?
The third one is the best one.
Yeah.
Which is like, so fun fact before we get into anything, I thought this death was in the third one. Just because of how violent the third one is. So I thought like, I just put that in my mind, like, oh, this super violent death is in the super violent movie.
Mhm.
And I was kind of excited that we could talk about the third movie in general, which is also fun. Instead, we got to talk about the fourth one, which is kind of like where they like recasted everybody. It wasn't going to be directed by Michael Bay, who, you know, famously does most of these movies from like the first 5 ones at least. But yeah, so he wasn't going to direct this one, but then he wanted to come back and kind of like give it a direction and where to go. So that's why we got this whole new cast. We got Mark Wahlberg with a Boston accent, who's supposed to be playing a Texas native. It's great to see. And we also have TJ Miller. Obviously, he was like the sort of like late 2000s, early 2010s like go-to comedic relief in movies, which is hilarious because he's not funny. Which is actually a direct quote from Michael Bay when it comes to the behind the scenes. So the thing is with this kill, it's so unnecessarily violent. It's out of nowhere. It's a PG-13 movie, and while it's not like bloody, it is a very like super over the top. There's like the whole like practical like cast they made of his death is insane. So there's a lot of theories going around, and I will explain why I think it's true. Is that there was a lot of behind the scenes beef with Michael Bay and TJ Miller that shows that he cut him out of the movie, and this was his way of doing it. And it's not unprecedented with Michael Bay. He's done something like this before. Hold
on, I'm gonna cut you off a little bit on that.
Go ahead.
Only because TJ Miller has famously bashed Michael Bay.
Yeah,
like in interviews, he has called him like Hitler on set, and that's very like specific for how he does shit. But like I've listened prior to us recording, I listened to a couple interviews that TJ Miller did about Michael Bay. And the thing about TJ Miller that really made me not enjoy him as a human, granted, I agree, he is not funny. I think he has a very specific cadence in his voice that he does really well for voice acting. Like I thought him in Deadpool was fine. I liked he did a voice in Gravity Falls, which is one of my favorite shows, and I thought he fit that voice fine. But I feel like the cadence is fine. But he backpedals so much on Michael Bay. So like in the notes that I took from listening to him, that he was Michael Bay was like yelling at me on set that like I hired you to be funny and no one is laughing, and if you're not funny, I'm going to fire you, and blah 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 blah. And TJ responded, he's like, well, I said this, and he's like, well, you know what, Michael, like I respect how you do things and that you hire the cast and blah blah blah. And I got like a laugh out of everyone, and they kept him on the set. But he's like, oh, my wife has had Michael Bay over for dinner, and he was like the nicest dude you can ever imagine. And I think the problem with TJ is he's separating the work from real life kind of thing, where, hey guys, like we're on a set, yeah, it's fun. Our budget was, and I wrote down their budget for shooting was, we are looking at a $210 million picture. We kind of have to be on point here. So I don't blame Michael Bay for being strict on set, but the way TJ Miller acted and the way TJ Miller responded, because he also said, I think he was on Bobby Lee's podcast, where he said that although Michael Bay was like really difficult to work with, he pays people out of his own pocket. And he will go against the budget to make sure he has people that he wants there and pay them out of his own money so that he has them. So it's a really weird balance that he has.
Yeah, like just from all the research I've done, like Michael Bay, like is like on set seems to be like very intense person, but he is a very nice guy as well, like outside of like work. So you know, I have a lot of respect for him. Even though like he's made like, you know, he's kind of known for like a very specific type of movie, but he's, you know, he's a very good guy. TJ Miller on the hand, I'm like not a fan of. It's not even just like his acting, but he's also just kind of had like a lot of controversies around his, you know, career that we don't have to get into.
I can't respect anybody that was in the Emoji Movie. Okay?
That's he was the star of the Emoji Movie, which is crazy.
People gotta pay bills.
It makes sense
Wait,
for him.
was he the poop emoji?
I don't know
he
what
was the main emoji. He was like the main character.
You know, I never saw the Emoji Movie. I'm good.
It's all capitalism.
Patrick Stewart was the
all it is.
Oh,
It's capitalism. You don't need that.
No, I think the last dumb movie like that we saw was like Sausage Party.
I loved Sausage Party.
That's so up TJ Miller's alley.
I had a good time
That
with
was
Sausage Party.
Terrible.
But yeah, I agree about TJ Miller and the accusations that he went through. And yeah, we don't have to list off. People have the internet; they can research.
Actually, no idea.
Yeah. All right. Off the record. TJ
People have the internet. I have no idea.
Hey, cut this.
2016, TJ Miller was allegedly accused of assaulting an Uber driver, which they wound up settling.
It's okay if you add allegedly.
In 2001, he was dismissed of a sexual assault charge.
Allegedly.
Where not allegedly, he was dismissed. But he was with a woman in college in 2001, where he apparently, without consent, choked her and punched her in the mouth mid-action. TJ Miller and his wife spoke up in the court, saying that the accuser was a former college stalker. So kind of like there was a lot of things that kind of dismissed that. He was also arrested in 2018, where he posed a fake bomb threat on an Amtrak train, where he blamed a woman for having a bomb in her bag. They arrested him because they found no explosives on this woman at all.
Wow.
What a nice
So
guy.
he's got a okay.
He's got a rap sheet. And every single crime you can go back and watch his death, and it's like, oh, this is great. Like watching him die over and over again.
The beauty of the beauty of his death is that it is, hold on, I have a note for it, that his death, the scene of Lucas's petrified charred corpse, is noted for being held in frame longer than almost any other human death in a Michael Bay Transformers movie.
So you are dead.
Like,
You're not coming back or
That's
done
one
with.
like there's got to be something like very deliberate about this death, you know? Like, no, I think like obviously like when they're writing these movies, they're not shooting them in order. They're not just like cutting characters like and then just getting them out the movie. So I think that's so people have so yeah, there is that theory that he was cut out. There's never been any official confirmation about that. However, I will say it is like if you watch it, it is kind of weirdly edited because he's running towards the camera. There's like a cut, and then it's like it shows the cast.
Yeah, I was very confused. I was like, wasn't he just with them and then he's alone?
Yeah. So there is like the there's
I'm so confused.
Exactly. Like it is very oddly edited, and then they don't really talk about it for the rest of the movie. He's just done. It's also very strange to like kill off the comedic relief in a film too. It's a very like weird tone shift in the film.
Well, okay, hold on. To be fair, James, I believe you're the only one to have watched the full movie.
Mm-hmm.
I read the wiki.
Don't out us like that.
Wow,
I've seen the movie.
All right, you've seen the movie. That's in high school. Fine. So
That was a lot closer to high school than you were to high school. So.
How long in the movie would you say is like his death?
I think it's like within the first like half hour, 20 minutes.
Oh wow, it was that
more of a 2.5 hour long movie.
I mean, I'm not going to say from experience that you work with some actors that you want to kill off and never have back, but I think it's very telling when you have a group of people that you connect to and they continue to come back and you work together and you can tell there's a reason why they continue to come back and why you have them and everything, and there's a reason why they die and they never come back, and that there's no prequels or anything else that ever happens.
Pause.
Sorry, at that part.
Yeah, do I need to cut that part out?
This is that last sentence, yes. No, I think I'm fine. No, I'm speaking honestly that I think it's fine to say that there are people that you work with that you continue to want to work with. And then there's moments like this that it feels like they wanted to get rid of him and kill him off. They didn't want him back.
Rewind, rephrase.
I'm not calling. I'm not.
Sometimes
at least 3 of us know who you're talking
I'm not
about.
saying it a third
I
time.
don't know.
I think I said it's fine.
That's fine. All right.
You'll rewatch it and take out whatever you want.
That's
You're gonna edit this, right? That's what
I'm
you do.
going to edit it.
So
Come on.
I would say when you kill someone in a movie like this hard,
You never
And
killed
you're like,
someone on
here-
purpose, have you?
Not me, no.
Okay. Well then so we're fine. So everyone's fine. We are not
Actually, wait, I kind of lie. Yeah, I did kind of kill someone on purpose.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say, have you done this before? Is this
I have as a writer director for an actor.
Hey, keep that in.
What's that, Jess?
You're trying to tell me you've killed me a lot.
I have, but you're here, and we love you. No, my mission was to hang Jess properly from a noose, and we got that done.
Yeah, we had to settle for overdosing. Can you believe that?
Oh.
great?
I will say it's a damn good shot. We got it. We nailed it.
But I also kind of wanted to go back on the going back to Transformers. We there's another incident of another actor who has called Michael Bay Hitler, who was cut out of a film. And it was Megan Fox for the 3rd Transformers movie.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna raise my hand on that one.
Go ahead.
It did not stop her from coming back to Ninja Turtles, though.
Right. So like they did make up. So there is like, yeah, so she did come back. They did kind of make up as friends. This was because Steven Spielberg he was a producer on the Transformers movies. He was very offended by her comment, him being for his Jewish heritage. So he was very upset about her speaking out, calling Michael Bay Hitler. So that's why in Transformers 3 she was cut out. And all the little Transformer robots kind of talk shit about her too in the movie. Like, she sucked anyway. Because they kind of break off all screen. She was like Shia LaBeouf's main love interest for the first 2 movies, and then they just cut her off, replace it with a character that's basically just her, but British.
And her name was Carly. That was great.
Was it really?
Yeah, her name was Carly. Yeah.
That's really funny. I know that this film acts as a standalone sequel to where
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to see the other films to know what's going on, because they added like the Dinobots, and they kind of added more lore from the original source material for this film as kind of like a for funsies kind of thing, because this wasn't in Michael Bay's original plan for a Transformers movie. It just kind of like, if you're going to tackle Transformers, you kind of have to tackle all the world. So I don't necessarily blame that they changed the cast for the fact of like, oh, we don't like them, versus like, well, we're going to treat this movie like its own entity kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was definitely meant to like launch like a whole new trilogy, kind of like push the franchise further, especially with like the popularity of like the MCU getting so big at the time. They wanted to create their own Transformers big universe. I feel like this movie was kind of like the kickoff. A lot more movies, which we did get a few. There was like one more with like Mark and his Funky Bunch. But then they after that, I think that was the 5th one. Then they kind of started doing like the spin-offs after that. We got like the Bumblebee movie, and there's like I think it was Rise of the Beast movie. I did not see either of them. I heard the Bumblebee movie's okay.
So I only watched the opening for Bumblebee because we got to actually see like Cybertron and see their planet. That was my only interest to watch anything Transformers. So other than that, I heard it's fine.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I wish I'd go to Cybertron more. That's always like the most interesting part of like Transformers, and you just don't see that in the movies, you know?
So with Transformers, we all know that Transformers was based off of like the 80s cartoon. Is everyone, or has anyone watched the original 80s cartoon?
I have. I've watched the original movie, and I've watched some of this series.
Okay,
Not all
cool.
of it,
Yes, how about you?
No.
And Carly, you've seen?
Yes, I have.
Honestly, I'm impressed.
I know. My dad used to play the song. It was like he had like an 80s like soundtrack, and it had that and the Barbie song on it. So
Although the Barbie song came out in the 90s, I do appreciate that.
And yet you've never seen the Goonies.
listen.
The only thing I know about Transformers is that band.
I was going to say, I would like to take this opportune moment to plug one of the best bands I've ever seen live, Cybertronic Spree. They are a Transformers band where they do the original animated movie soundtrack front to back, because it's all 80s covers.
And it's awesome.
They do the whole soundtrack of the Transformers animated movie and throw in other covers like they did Weird Al's Dare to Be Stupid, and they are fantastic. I highly recommend everyone look up Cybertronic Spree. They were such a blast to see live, and they're fantastic. All right, yeah, so everyone but apparently Jess is familiar with the original.
We know it existed. Continue.
Thing. Just to kind of go into just like a little bit of housekeeping for the film itself. We all know that it was directed by Michael Bay. Michael Bay, a little bit of history on him. Like, he started out in the 80s doing music videos. He did things for like Styx and Great White and Winger. He did Tina Turner music videos. He did the famous Meatloaf video, I Would Do Anything for Love. Did the Bat Out of Hell series. Everybody's obviously familiar with that. He, as a director, he did, everyone would know, Armageddon. He did Pearl Harbor, Bad Boys 2, the Ninja Turtles films, They Exist Ninja Turtles films. Most notably, as a producer, he actually gave us some of the best horror remakes, at least in my opinion. He produced the Texas Chainsaw remake with Jessica Biel in 2003, which was really good.
Nice.
Amityville Horror in 2005 with Ryan Reynolds, which was not as good. Friday the 13th in 2009, which with Derek Mears as Jason, which was really awesome. And then, unfortunately, in 2010, he gave us Nightmare on Elm Street, which was...
Never saw that one.
I have not seen it. I
It
will not
existed.
say it. It is a film.
You're
that-
gonna have to when we do our series. So,
It-
you watch all
it
of
exists, and I respect that it exists. This film was also written by Aaron Kruger. Ironically enough, that Michael Bay
Yeah.
produced Nightmare on Elm Street.
You get it. Mm.
Oh. I'm sorry.
So the thing about
Like
Aaron
Kruger, right?
Kruger, yes,
Freddy
Freddy
I heard
Krueger.
the sounds like you.
So the thing that I've noticed about Aaron Kruger with looking into his filmography is that he is the ruiner of childhoods. That not only did he write this film, but he also wrote Transformers: Dark of the Moon, Revenge of the Fallen. So he's been with Michael Bay for a little bit through all this. But he has also written the Tim Burton Dumbo film, which exists. He,
Scary. I don't even.
I mean, Danny DeVito's in it, if that helps.
Okay, that actually does help a lot.
He wrote Ghost in the Shell, which was also a film that exists based off of a property that we all love. He wrote Scream 3, probably the weakest of the Scream films.
His entire I'm looking at his
Dude,
did write-
Reindeer Games, which is fine. Brothers Grimm, which was a fun take on the idea of what the Brothers Grimm did with fairy tales. He wrote The Ring 2, which we did not need. He was also he did revisions, so he would get scripts and revise them for Scream 4, Dead Silence, Spy Kids, and Dracula 2000. This man does not have the best rap sheet as a writer. Good for him. He made money. He's doing his job.
he did Top Gun Maverick, which is really good.
Ooh, that's a good movie. I know
didn't-
that one.
Co-wrote,
didn't
co-wrote with
like-
like two other people, but
You like
he
the
was there.
original Top Gun? You have a problem.
No, I did. I did not like Top Gun. As
You
a
don't like
movie.
your military propaganda slop.
Oh,
It's so good,
you know what? That is the best way to describe it.
Now I feel.
but it's so good though. That and Red Dawn, the two best military propaganda slop movies.
like I like
Awesome.
that movie too.
Dude, if I want to watch like hot shirtless dudes volleyball, like I'll find it somewhere else. Thank you. Although I do love Val Kilmer. Val
Yeah.
Kilmer, I will say that I do enjoy Val Kilmer.
Listen. Oh wait, what's that guy's name? Shit, I forgot.
Batman?
Never mind. No, the guy from Divergent that was in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, I have no idea. James, would you know?
No.
Has anyone else seen Top
I
Gun?
have not watched Divergent, so I have to like
Miles Teller. Miles Teller.
Miles Teller.
Him and that little mustache can go Miles.
Miles Teller, famous from Divergent, of course.
Jess, did you enjoy Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, so I was a big fan of Top Gun when I was younger, like the original one. I was impressed with Top Gun Maverick because I just wasn't sure what to expect.
Mhm.
That much time had passed. But honestly, it was actually kind of funny. I went and saw it in the movie theater, and I felt like I got in the car and was like flying down the highway because you feel like you're like in the planes when you're watching it.
You were on the danger zone, just flying
Yeah.
through the highway.
It was just like you were just kind of amped up.
It was like the first like good movie after COVID. Like it was like the
Yeah.
first movie. I'm sorry, but it was like the first like movie that like you could go see in a theater after COVID.
No, you're not wrong.
It was like promoted to be seen in the theater.
It was. Doesn't make it good though.
It does because of the time. Period. End of sentence.
Moving on. Transformers: Age of Extinction stars Mark Wahlberg, Stanley Tucci, Kelsey Grammer. There's a lot of problematic people in this film.
Yeah.
Not Stanley Tucci, but Kelsey Grammer.
I don't know.
Kelsey Grammer has went on to be very problematic, unfortunately. Nicola Peltz. This is my favorite part of looking at the cast is the voice actors. I am a diehard animation fan and voice actor fan, and respect them to a great T for voice actors. You have Peter Cullen, who is the OG Optimus Prime, which is rad that he came through and did all the Transformers movie and reprised his role as Optimus. You also have Frank Welker, who was the original God, why am I blanking on his name? The villain in Transformers.
Buck.
Buck. Help me out here. The Decepticon, the main Decepticon. Anybody?
Megatron. Sorry.
Megatron.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
I was like zoning out looking at the cast.
Oh, like, help me. But no, he came back and he did Megatron, which was awesome. You also have John Goodman, which is really cool, and two of my favorite voice actors. You have Ben Schwartz, who is known for being Sonic in the new Sonic movies, which plays Bumblebee, which is cool, and John DiMaggio comes in and does a voice, and John DiMaggio, as we all know, is Bender in Futurama, where he actually, I'm scrolling through my notes, he actually did a Bender line with him as Crosshairs. He refers to humans as meat bags.
Nice.
In Futurama. So that makes me very happy to know that exists. To go into the kill itself real quick, we all know that TJ Miller gets completely evaporated by what is his name? Crosshair. Or no, not Crosshair. I just said Crosshair.
Lockjaw.
Lockjaw.
Is it Lockjaw?
Yeah.
I have it written down. I just have to look through my notes to
Lockdown. Is that what it is?
Is it Lockdown? Yeah, Lockdown.
Lockdown. We were all wrong. I was so confident earlier. I was like, Lockjaw. That's his name.
His name was earlier.
So
suck at that.
We will forgive our previous lib, and it is Lockdown is the name of the character.
Lock it down.
So to go into the kill, there is there's a lot of people that went into this film mainly because it was the kill itself is not practical. It is a digital kill done mixed with practical effects. So the cool thing about it is that Michael Bay brought in a special effects tech named Richard O. Helmar. He brought him in out of retirement to basically do this effect to come on set, and because he knew he was probably knew he was one of the best that he wanted to bring in. And as we established earlier, Michael Bay pays people out of pocket. So he brought him in as a special effect tech to come back in and rig up all these explosions that the main cast runs through practically. Really cool and terrifying that they rigged up massive amounts of explosions for Mark Wahlberg, TJ Miller, and I'm blanking on the female lead's name, to run through, that they had to time it out, that it took them 4.8 seconds to run from point A to point B before they triggered all of the explosions to go off.
Wow.
So the fact that they did their own stunts and ran through just crazy amounts of fireworks and explosions is very impressive that they did that.
I wonder how many takes it took.
Just
you
one.
You only get one with that type.
So
with that type of shot.
The way that it looked like they could have rigged up for multiple. So it's kind of like an interesting layout that if you for the scene, I'm gonna obviously post it up. There was panels that was rigged up with explosions that they were like separated. They had kind of like a yellow brick road kind of pathway that they followed. And it looked like they probably could have rigged up with more explosions, but I'm sure that reset would have been a nightmare. To
expensive, I'm sure.
Just from like a crew perspective, it would have been a nightmare. But yeah, I think they got it done in one take, that they just like bolted through that set. The special effects crew that took care of a lot of it, there's a lot of companies that worked with Michael Bay on this, and just to give credit where credit is due, you had ILM, Legend 3D, Gentle Giant Studios, Prime Focus World, and Digicore that all did the 3D effects and CG models that went into Transformers, into the forms of like designing the new Autobots and Decepticons, and that death for TJ Miller. I think that's all the
fun facts you have.
I have a lot of other fun facts, but in terms of the kill, that is the fun fact.
I will say there's probably someone who deserves more to be killed in this movie. Another character who deserves it.
Oh.
So this is kind of like my hijacking of the show, where I say this is person who should have been killed of the week. So let me get his characters. I don't remember anybody's names in his movies, especially the human characters. Shane Dyson, played by Jack Reiner. So in this movie, Mark has a daughter, played by Nicola Peltz. She plays Tessa Yeager. Mark Wahlberg's character is Cade Yeager. She plays a 17-year-old high school girl who's dating a 20-year-old. Already weird enough. This movie makes sure to really address this a lot.
I remember
to the point where her boyfriend, played by Jack Reiner, pulls out a card from his wallet, which is Texas's Romeo and Juliet law, which is supposed to explain that it's okay because they started dating in high school. Which is also weird because she's like, oh, he was a senior and I was a sophomore. And it's like, oh, so you were 15 and he was 18. It's still not right.
Wait, I'm sorry. That was called the Romeo and Juliet law?
Yeah, it's a Texas like statue. I had to bring it up. I just had it up. But it is so. I think he's the one who should have been.
It's a really weird thing for them to bring up in a movie.
You didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that at all.
Did they say in the movie that?
They say that it's the Romeo and Juliet law, and they like pull out the paper, and it's like a whole plot line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Mark's like, he's like so upset. It's so crazy.
She like brings home her boyfriend, and he's like older.
Mm-hmm.
So meet her dad.
I'm sorry, but like Mark Wahlberg's Irish Catholic would not approve in any sense.
Yeah, it's so weird. It did not need to be put in there. It's also wrong. It doesn't protect against like I gotta pull it up, but it's like the law's also not correct in their situation. It only protects for like a year, like age difference. When it comes to this. And so it's just like who's like they really insisted on putting this in a movie to the fact that they wrote a whole scene defending it. So strange. And I think
normal age.
you could have just made her 1 year older. The fact that they had to make her 17 and make the other actor, he's 20, and the whole thing that he's dating a minor, it's like, oh, it's okay because of the Romeo and Juliet law. It's so weird. It's so I think that's who should have been the one explode. Him and TJ Miller, they could have both been killed off in that scene.
I really think that goes into the writer, that we look back at his past.
Yeah, he's got a weird past. Aaron Kruger.
Probably.
So he's saying it's cool. Like, I'm just gonna throw this in there and just, it's fine. Because he's looking at it, he's reflecting on his own past.
Because you know what? Like,
this movie come out?
This is not that long ago. This is 2019. 2014. Okay, that's a lot older than I thought it was. But still, not that old for like.
So to be fair, that Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna scratch.
No,
that
it's not. It's not to be fair. This situation.
No,
Chris.
no. What I was gonna go into, I got the names mixed up. Michael Bay produced the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. This guy did not write the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I was about to say, I was like, this guy was the one who made Freddy Krueger a pedophile, although Freddy Krueger was never a pedophile in the original series.
No,
But-
the remake they made it that he was like special needs and didn't understand.
Yeah, but wasn't he still
That was-
like diddling kids?
No, it was like the remake made it where he wasn't necessarily that he was abusing kids. It was like that he was like friends with them and didn't understand what was wrong. And it was like,
okay.
no, he's supposed to be a fucking bad guy. Like, you
Yeah,
can't
but they
make him like the janitor that didn't understand and like make friends.
Yeah,
and-
but that was the twist. It was like, oh, he didn't know what he was doing, but he was still doing it though.
I don't remember. It's been a long time.
But either way, it was associated with a production
So-
by Michael Bay to where they glorify the idea of diddling children.
So
Yes.
it's trying to
Right.
condone his own actions and
I
trying
don't
to
think
it's-
Michael Bay is a child
You're-
diddler.
I'm not saying he is. I don't know how to respond to this.
He's got a lot to answer for though. I will say.
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
This is very weird. Well, it's a
really
right.
weird
It's like
game.
it had to go through a lot. You got to think about it. This had to go through like so many hoops. It's not just like they went and directed it. It's like obviously this had to be looked at by producers, gone through editing, like all this hoops that like they're like we really need to put in this scene. It's-
I feel like in 2026, like post Epstein, it'd be like, nope, she's got to be 18, and
Yeah.
we're not even gonna like, or just don't talk about ages or high school at all, and just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
you-
Oh.
Be like,
Yeah,
this is
just
my
like that.
daughter, period. And she's
Yeah,
dating a
daughter.
guy,
That's
period.
it. Just,
yeah.
yeah.
Side note: I would like us to do a kill the week on Epstein. Like
Ooh.
Epstein didn't kill himself? Question mark. And that
We do it on the
Yeah.
document.
Yeah.
just be like, did he kill himself? Now there's documents saying he's still alive. Question mark.
We have to
Side
have Maul
note.
on for that.
It's not.
I got a lot of
It's really
opinions.
dark. You know.
That's
It's
where
got
I'm
really
gonna bring
dark.
all the strings out, and I'm gonna have like the map and the. I got that one. I'll cover that.
Be like Charlie in the fucking
It's gonna be me.
mailroom.
Uh-huh.
Back to Transformers. Some more fun facts I'm going to sprinkle in to Transformers is
Better be
that
fun.
this is the
Are they fun?
there are fun.
I'm excited.
When does the fun start?
This is the first Transformers film to not have Shia LaBeouf or Linkin Park
Oh,
Ooh.
why?
because
It's like
And that's
Shia
why
LaBeouf
it's so
does
bad.
so much, but his scream is so iconic.
they replaced Shia LaBeouf with Shia LaWalberg. You got him instead. And then
Shia
they
LaWalberg.
replaced Linkin Park with Imagine Dragons.
Ugh.
Do
there
love
is-
Imagine Dragons.
No.
What?
Linkin
That's
Park forever and ever and ever
But
and ever.
radioactive.
Is that
Oh,
what song is in this movie?
Get out of my house right now.
I don't know.
You're gonna argue against Linkin Park? You don't argue against Linkin Park in this
I'm
house.
sorry, I don't
I
know.
don't know
about
what-
Linkin Park.
Huh?
I don't know about Linkin
All right, well, you're staying over and watching, listening to Linkin Park all
Um,
night.
Park. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I don't know the song that's in it exactly, but they did not. It's like Shia LaBeouf and Linkin Park were like hand in hand with these movies, and they did not have them.
Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Linkin Park was in Dark of the Moon.
I guess so.
I guess they would have to be.
So just a few more fun facts, then we can move on. Is that 70 minutes of this movie out of the 2 almost 3 hour long film, 70 minutes of the entire movie are dedicated to action sequences. There are about 55 brands of product placement in the film, which really cracks me the fuck up because that's where that budget comes from.
Yo.
Mhm.
For everyone listening / watching at home, a lot of my notes come from both Wikipedia and IMDb, so that's where the sources come from. Don't yell at me on the internet, just go there. That's where it comes from. And then my last bit of trivia that I found from this movie that was related to the actual kill, which is actually pretty cool. I think this is actually a pretty interesting thing. Is that Michael Bay describes Lockdown as the film's most interesting character. He travels the galaxy. He works for somebody else. He's here for one person, one alien, and then he's out of here. So he doesn't really want to take sides. The cause and balance of the galaxy is kind of messed up when different species play with different species, and that opens up a whole other gigantic world for Transformers. So I think that is a really cool little tidbit to talk about this character that killed TJ Miller, where he's nothing more than a robot for hire, essentially. I think
He
that's
also has a really cool grenade.
Created this Transformer just to kill TJ Miller off this movie, and that's it.
No, that's who we meant to kill. Yeah, that's the weird alien he meant to kill.
So you know what? Fuck TJ Miller. I'm designing an entire robot to completely obliterate him.
TJ Miller. I also love how he throws like one little grenade, but it just that huge explosion that's just like in a row. It's so funny.
It's
like
going straight
Yeah.
down.
It's
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful explosion.
Yeah.
You got the
Mhm.
slow motion. You got the explosions everywhere.
Right.
Ships flying.
It's
so
kind of
quick
is
and so
it
epic.
kind of is everything Michael Bay in one scene. if you
It
really
is.
think
It
about
really
Yeah,
is.
it's like his elevator pitching. Like, here you go. This is what I do.
I kill
Mhm.
TJ Miller, and that's it.
Now,
And,
just a general question, and I don't know if you know the answer. A scene like that is done with like practical effects, what's like the cost difference between doing that practically or trying to replicate it like with CGI?
I would say probably within the thousands of dollars. I think with the way cost is for something of that measure, I mean, if you want to factor in the technician, 5 of tens of thousands of dollars to bring someone in like that versus I will click clack on a computer and make explosions kind of thing, probably like tens of thousands of dollars.
Because wouldn't like the actors then have to be paid more too for like union stuff? I feel like whenever there's like fire or water or anything involved.
Well, if they're shooting practically, sure. But if they're doing it digitally, they just need the plate shot. So you can shoot them. They shot in Chicago, so they already had they had a tax relief credit. They had the permits and everything that went through to shoot in Chicago. And to have them just run down a street where they're just gonna lay in the effects wouldn't be anywhere near that much money. So I think Michael Bay forked out of his own pocket that money to make the practical explosions, because I think he's an old school guy. So I think he adds CG in as a sprinkle, but I think he needs the practical foundation to build
I think
on.
it would be cool to learn the cost if he truly, added this in as a way to kill off this character, like the cost of his pettiness.
I support that. I really do. I feel that if I had the money to be that petty, I'd do it too.
He can afford it.
Yeah,
I support that every day. I think there's something to be said when things are practical. You can feel the weight of it. You can see how everything was moving and exploding. Like CG's fine, but I can imagine seeing that scene in the theaters and how much weight that would have held, even for the 5 seconds that it happens. Like it's better that way. And I also think you lose a lot of credit when you rely on CG in today's world.
And that's what I'll give a lot of credit to these movies. It's like besides the like Transformers, most of the movie is shot with like a lot of practical effects. All of the movies, especially the first 3, like, and the Transformers themselves, they look so good for CG, But anything that's not a Transformer is like a practical set, practical explosion, stunts. They do a lot on camera with these movies, despite kind of being like at the time known for the like, oh, it's just nothing but like CGI slop, When that's like not the case, I don't feel like with these movies, there's some kind of like there's passion behind it, believe it or not. Maybe not in the writing department, but as like shooting a film and having fun, like I would love, it'd probably be so much fun to work on these movies.
No, I thoroughly agree to that because, like, yeah, you had a lot of people, even like TJ Miller has said, as much shit as he gave Michael Bay, he backpedaled and was
Mhm.
like, this is a once in a lifetime experience that he could ever have.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why. I think he said, and again, it might have been on the Bobby Lee podcast. There was a couple of podcasts that he was on where he talked about it.
Mhm.
That Michael Bay's goal, and I'm paraphrasing here, don't ever quote me on this 100%. Michael Bay's goal is to basically give the crew a common ground. They hate the boss. That's essentially like the mentality. He's going to do what he needs to do to get what he wants out of a shot, but he's giving everyone that common thing to where that they can unify and be like, oh yeah, we equally dislike this person, but we have no reason to turn against each other and not give
Mhm.
what we give. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you going to say?
I don't remember.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hey, that's kind of smart.
No, it is. Like,
Someone that's equally hated is just it just brings people together.
I'm too self-conscious as a
Picture
director.
brings people together. See, we all hate you and we're all
Yeah, I was saying I'm too
Yeah.
self-conscious of a director to be like, I'm going to do something that everyone hates me on.
Yeah, Phaser 2.
Not happening.
If you came in and were like, we're doing a Phaser 2, like, I'm fucking done. Not doing this.
There will never be.
Do I get to be a zombie?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's always a game when Brandon writes the script. Oh, so they're gonna fly through the church and break their neck midair? Oh yeah, really?
we made it work. But no,
That's
I
the
will.
game. Brandon
I
writes
would
it, we question it, and then
love to go on record here now. There would not be an aphasia 2. Aphasia now on our YouTube for free, or you can be really cool and support it by buying it on Amazon.
And it'd be really cool and tell the director to get it on Blu-ray already.
Blu-ray is coming soon. Working on it.
Yay!
Well,
I think what I was trying to say before was you could feel the weight when things are done practically and the excitement that the actors have. I can't imagine how boring it would be to work on a shoot where everything is green screen. And I know that some things like it needs to exist with like Avatar and different stuff to an extent,
Mhm.
and it can have its CG has its place in certain moments. Same with like AI, it has its place, but you can feel the excitement from the cast and crew and something's done actually in space, and that's why we do what we do and why we make movies. So yeah, and like we'll be doing we'll be doing a Little Shop of Horrors soon, talking with an actual puppeteer and like making puppets. Like it's so much better when it's practical and you feel it, even if it costs a gazillion dollars. If you have it, spend it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just
even when we shoot anything, it's well, using aphasia as an example, aphasia was 95% practical. The only things that we shot on green screen was the shot of Jess to be on the ceiling, as well as making Shannon a demon that was pint size. We shot her on a green screen. But for the most part, we shot practically and made a full bust of various body parts of Jess. Her face, her arms, fingers, and everything. So yeah, and I would like to believe everyone who worked on that film felt more in tune with it because they were able to interact in a space with that. Hopefully, yeah, it really brings the performance out 100%.
Okay.
Great.
I
agree. We're all nodding in agreement. Yeah.
We're all nodding. Yes.
Yeah, so Phaser 2.
Yeah, fuck y'all. All right.
So when's Phaser 3 coming?
Never. As though
Phaser 3 still dead. Still dead.
I couldn't imagine being on a Marvel set and like everybody has like dots on their face and like everyone's in like these weird suits with like blue screen.
There's something so magical seeing the behind the scenes of when things are put together and like the blooper reels and different stuff and then all you see is the dots and you're just like, Like we were just watching Pirates of the Caribbean and realizing like how fake the second one?
Yeah, Davy
second
Jones,
one.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you really did none of that, huh? None of that is. I get it to an extent. I'm like, come on, it's like.
Well, I mean, for this film too, they had photos of the robots on sticks So Mark Wahlberg interacted with a photo of Optimus Prime's face on
Just,
it. Yeah.
I give credit to the actors, but I think it's lazy.
Well, I mean, that was Ian McKellen's argument for the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. You know, thou shall not bounce versus you shall not pass.
Yeah.
Was like a notable
Yeah.
thing with that. But
I know it's not always the answer that not everything can be done practical, but I feel like these films with these budgets, they can do it if they want to.
Yeah, I do agree though. You have to give props to those actors because you see some of those behind the scenes stuff, and I was like, how do you get mentally in the space of that scene when it's just that with like everyone dots on their face, a whole blue
Or
backdrop?
when you're yelling at a tennis ball, like, what do you do with that?
well, yeah, it's like yes, you are an actress, you're an established actress. Like how would you react that if someone's like, all right, cool, you're in this scene, here's a fucking green sock that is meant to be a giant python. Like how would you take that?
I think it takes a lot. Like I feel like at first I'd be distracted. Like and like just like eye lines and stuff like that. I feel like it does take a lot to like figure out the nuance of working with that and like creating it in your mind and not screwing up, which is I guess why they make the big bucks.
So, okay, my question to that then is like, what would be the difference of reacting to a tennis ball on a stick versus reading lines with someone who's not there? Like, is that the same mentality, or would that be, is there like a significant difference in that?
When you're reading lines with a person, you're naturally reacting to a person. Like, so
I mean, like, what if it's like a PA just like reading lines to feed you for the scene versus the actual actor? Like, they're not there; it's just your.
it's almost harder because when you hear an actual person delivering the lines, even if they're not delivering them in an acting type of way, your response is to like react to the person that's talking to you. So sometimes it's almost makes it harder if it's. I think when I'm on set, I'd prefer the person who's in the scene to actually, even if they're not on camera, to read the lines to me, because then it feels like you're in the scene and the environment. If it's a random person, again, you're still kind of like reacting to that person somewhat. Sometimes it's, at least for eye lines, if it is just a tennis ball, like that actually is helpful. But yeah, you still have to kind of create that scene in your head. And, you know, I guess that's where running your lines and practicing it over and over again to figure out how you want it delivered or trying different things on different takes. I mean, I've been on sets where directors are very specific about how they want a certain scene portrayed. And, you know, they'll keep going until they get that. And I've been on sets where they're like, yeah, you want to try it a different way? Go ahead and try it a different way. I personally like when you have a little bit more flexibility to play around with things because it is kind of hard when don't have your acting partner to work off of, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does. Because, like, yeah, again, my brain goes like Ian McKellen with the tennis ball for the Balrog and working with you on set and where Jill is feeding you lines versus whoever couldn't be there that day.
My favorite was when I had to step in for Josh.
Yes, you're
we looked the same, and I was like, all right, I'll put the shirt on. And Mark had to like deliver lines to me just to like be like over my shoulder, and I'm just staring at him because I think in the moment it was Mark's monologue anyway, so I had nothing to respond to. But I'm just sitting there in Josh's shirt, and he's having this very dramatic monologue, and he's just so powerful and acting and great. It was wonderful, and I'm just smiling. I'm like, I don't look like Josh. How is this working? I'm trying to like move my neck to the side so you don't see any of me in it and be out of the way as much as possible. And apparently I was the only one that would, I don't know, look like Josh somehow. I love you, Josh. You're not here. But it was like the weirdest moment, like on the other side, when you have this actor has like these lines and they're feeding you, and you're just standing there like an idiot. You're like,
Well,
you're
yeah.
doing great. I don't know what to do with my
I will
hands.
say this though, like actors are used to running lines with any person they can find. If you are submitting a video, like I used to be like to my sister when I lived with her, I'd be like, hey, I have an audition, I need to send this video. And we would have to do 27 takes because she kept reading the stage directions. And I'd be like, you can ignore the ones in parentheses. Like you can ignore what she's doing, just read the actual line. But like you're kind of forced into that anyway. And if you're just rehearsing your lines, you're just like, hey, can you just read these parts with me? And so you kind of get used to doing that with a random person anyway.
Okay, good. I felt really bad whenever that's me like feeding the lines. Like, I'm sorry. Oh no, don't go there. Like,
because
like I got nothing.
Like especially like watching those behind the scenes films, like they could not have like Frank Welker on set. Like there was no place for him to even be to feed lines.
Well,
as Megatron.
The other problem is in this case on big budgets. I understand what you're saying, like where it's ideal to have the person in the scene with you, but in that case, then you're paying them extra time on big budget to feed the lines. So if you're not using them, you don't want them there, and you have to be like, nope, you're clocked out now. I'm not paying you. So I see why they don't always have them around, and the benefit of them being around. I think a lot of it also comes to the actors for wanting to be present when available instead of like being in their trailer and wanting to be there to feed the lines and give their fellow actors what they need for a scene, especially when it's more powerful.
Well, I mean, that could also just be like personal preference because my brain goes to, I'm going to look up the actor's name because I don't know it off the top of my head. But my brain will always go to the classic film of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where the voice actor for Roger Rabbit, Charles Fleischer, where he was actually on set with a Roger Rabbit puppet and wearing Roger Rabbit ears, delivering the voices to Christopher Lloyd and Bob Hoskins, where he was off camera doing the animated voice for them in character. And sure, it was a Spielberg picture and everything like that. Like he produced it. I'm sure that helped budget wise, but I mean, Michael Bay, again, notoriously known for paying people out of pocket. If he wanted like Frank Welker there or John DiMaggio, I'm sure he could have. Here's an extra like 1,500. You guys can just like be on set lines.
I mean, but there's also so many logistics with that of like the amount of hours that would take and like the time that the time in between shooting that to when you actually need them on set and the break times and the union bullshit. Like, I understand why it doesn't always work out.
I think depending on the person, it doesn't matter.
But it gets to these budgets, it does matter.
When you have like $200-something million, and I think with them, when you grossed over $1 billion, they're gonna let, especially for the fact that Michael Bay has established himself very early on, that they'll let him, studios will let him do whatever. I think.
I think that whole concept for these films is very different because even if you had the voice actors there, they're not looking like the Transformers that they're going to be in the movie. Versus if there's like a person and they're there, you're actually reacting to their mannerisms and how they're delivering the lines. You're not going to get that from a voice actor who's ultimately going to be a Transformer. If that makes sense.
I mean, fair. But I also think like you have two OGs from the show that if they were to be on set and talk like Optimus Prime, I think like lovingly, I don't like Mark Wahlberg, but I think Mark Wahlberg would be like, yes, Optimus, I will do exactly what you said.
Sure.
Hey, I would.
But no, I agree with both of you. I think both of you make very valid points. But I also think like you're talking with someone that's like, hey, you guys can give me less money because I'm going to put up X amount of my own money to do what I need to do to get the movie that I want made. That I think studios would be more than willing to be like, oh, you're going to put up like 500 whatever of this like $200 million movie. Great. Yeah, let's fucking do it, you know?
I mean, you also have to remember though that the first couple rounds of when these people are auditioning, they're not auditioning like people that are watching this audition are watching them read with random people anyway. So they're judging their ability to can they be cast in this film based upon them reading with someone else. It's not till way further down the line that they're even considering like a chemistry read.
No, you actually, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right. You bring up a very valid point of the idea of the chemistry read. So yeah, no, you're right. Fine. My point is moot. Yes, you win.
I mean, I see the value of it both ways from an actor's perspective. It's helpful to have your scene partner there, but
yeah. So what I got out of that is that Brandon wants to put up more of his own money to make more movies.
What money?
Exactly.
What money is my question.
Yep. Listen, pay me $100,000 or whatever. I'll act with whatever, you know.
We were hiding the million. Sorry, guys. That micro budget filmmaking, we were just hiding all of our riches.
So you know all that chili we make on set. That's all you're ever eating for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, last time it was beans.
It was beans last time.
How many Transformers movies are there?
I think there's like 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 7.
Jesus.
I don't think anything needs to go in for that many movies.
Except for Friday the 13th.
I don't think anything needs to go in for that many movies.
Except for Halloween.
I still stand for more to go in for that many movies.
If anything, I'm surprised there's not a lot more. You know,
I think my max is 3. I don't think you really need more than 3 in a series.
Are they still actively making more?
Not really. It's kind of recently it's been like falling on like their last few films haven't been doing well in the box office, so it's kind of on ice right now. For last I checked, they just did an animated movie, Transformers 1, which I heard was like really good for what it is. That's like in the Transformers fandom, they love that movie. It's basically kind of like a Optimus Prime origin story. But that movie flopped really bad because it had terrible marketing. Kind of like side fun fact with that movie, there was one guy on Twitter. His name was Transformers 1 Hype Guy, and he was basically the entire marketing for that film. He was just one guy who was so passionate about this film. He saw it in theaters like every day for like a month straight, and then just kind of went viral. And then just people from that went to go see it, and we're like, "Oh, this movie's like really good." That's what it is. I have not seen it yet. My brother has seen it. He said he loves it. It looks really good, you know. But before that, the last live action one was 2023. That was Rise of the Beast, and that was kind of it from there. Not that long ago, but there's nothing like in development right now for Transformers that I know of. So,
see that goes into the fact of like what a lot of people don't. If you're not in like into films or into filmmaking or like just work on films in general, like there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't understand, like what James was just saying about like the terrible marketing. Like that could kill an amazing movie. And it's a shame, whereas like some of these films get like, look, I am not a Marvel fan at all. I stopped with the Marvel movies. I don't count Deadpool because Deadpool is its own thing, and I know people will probably bash me on that of being wrong, but Deadpool has always been his own world, even in the comics.
Yeah.
But I stopped with the Marvel movies after like the first Avengers film, when it's just like, oh, okay, it's just C style sci-fi with portals and whatever. But those movies, in my opinion, as bad as they are, they're popcorn flicks. People love them, but they have such a strong presence that people will lose their shit over like anything. Oh my god, like Thor picked up a hammer, Hulk got mad. Like they're so simple. People love them. Versus you have films like, I sound very pretentious of myself, but like films like Mary and Max. We were talking about that earlier off camera. It is a very beautiful great story-driven stop-motion film and zero marketing, played festivals and has a very underground following, but it is a truly amazing film that has like top actors in it. Like Philip Seymour Hoffman is in that movie, and people don't talk about it. He's a very notable actor. And the way that media controls what people see, where they will shove as a James, I'm gonna steal this from you. They take slop and they fucking throw it at the wall because it sticks versus like true quality of some movies. It can really break a quality film.
Yeah, no, I agree. I will say recently, I think there definitely is sort of like a fatigue, like a franchise fatigue with superhero movies and just these big like hero flicks in general. So while that was working for so many years, I think we're definitely seeing like a lot more like maybe smaller indie films getting a lot more attention lately. I think people are starting to have like a need for something more original and exciting. Especially with we're getting there. Let's just look at. I'm just gonna look at a list of just some of the movies that came out this year, but like even then, like I feel like a lot more people are just more like aware of like, especially like with social media. It's like you're not having like these big studios like advertising too much. It's more just people word of mouth talking about movies, and I think people take that more into account when they go to the theaters now.
I do agree. I hope so anyway. Like although I do feel like a lot of that's gonna flip because of Robert Downey Jr. becoming Doctor Doom now. That's going to be a whole big thing for the Marvel Universe to kind of like rebrand and re-spark in a lot of those things. So I mean, hopefully a lot of people hit more towards like an indie factor. Like, and look, I won't discredit people if they enjoy a Marvel. If you like it, great. Like you found entertainment, they're doing their job. They are entertaining. But just broaden your horizon. That's all I ask for people. Like, for the longest time, I watched nothing but horror. And when I finally shifted gears and explored more, like that's when I started discovering a lot of David Lynch stuff and a lot of De Palma movies. And you see how horror, comedy, drama, they're all in the same boat, and people can find things. They just got to find their niche, and encouraging people to explore genre and explore just film as a whole, and I hope more people do that. And with Transformers, if it's done, I'm glad that it's done, and I'm sure it went out on a high note. Congratulations, Michael Bay. Go ruin Thundercats for me. I don't know what happened, but whatever.
Yeah, screw Marvel slot. Watch more prestigious films like Transformers 4,
Yeah. With Jess, having you may or may not have seen this movie, does our conversation make you want to go into Transformers or not at all?
I have seen some. I saw the first Transformers, and I've seen some of this one, but no, I mean, I'm not persuaded to like, let's go, just from what I've seen already.
That's okay.
But I do think the kill was pretty cool. I will say I like the kill of the week and should have been kill of the week. New aspect.
Yeah, I do agree with that. How about you, Carly? Where do you stand in Transformers land?
I want to rewatch the first 3. And I do want to watch Bumblebee, and I want to skip over 4 and watch all the other ones. Because I want to watch the newest one because it has some voice actors that I really like.
Okay. Fair. How about you, Jill?
I really want to watch 3 because that's what James was all excited to talk about. And his disappointment that we had to watch 4. I'm like, what am I missing in 3? Now I want to see 3.
3's insane, but in the best
so
way.
Good.
I will watch. We will watch.
Good.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a
I,
watch.
I saw that in theaters and I was like, holy shit, like shit is going down in this movie.
I don't understand it. I'm gonna I trust you.
Put
That
it on the list.
I'm gonna, it's going on the list for the watch alongs. We will do a watch along of 3 with no other
And
context.
every action scene, I'm gonna be like, this is a good one.
So the same way you reacted to High School Musical is how you're gonna react to
I feel the exact
every
same
song
about
coming
High
up.
School
This is
Musical
a
and
good
High
song.
School
This is a good song
Transformers.
coming up. Yep, the whole freaking time.
I will say, for my opinion of Transformers, thoroughly, or not thoroughly, that's the wrong word. Honestly, I have no interest in Transformers. I was not a Transformers kid. When it came to, I mean, obviously it was past my time as a child. I was a 90s baby, not an 80s baby. But in terms of 80s cartoons, because of my brothers, we would watch them. Transformers did not land for me. I was the Thundercats kid. I have no interest in watching these movies other than like best of clips on YouTube. Yeah, I don't see myself watching them surpass the first movie, although I won't turn them off if they come on TV, if that's a reasonable answer.
Well, thankfully we don't have cable, so they'll never just come on TV.
If they were on in the break room,
you
I'm
have
turning
to,
it up.
you have to actively like put things on now,
It's
Grandpa.
my loophole. And to send us off, James, I would love for you to give me your final thoughts and opinions after our conversation, since this was your pick for Kill of the Week.
My final thing is I'm glad TJ Miller is dead, you know, and we got him out of here, you know. Michael Bay did it. In all seriousness, though, wish we could have talked about 3, but you know, we got a lot out of 4. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about 4. If 4 is interesting in a very different way. It's not good, but everything behind the scenes is like you could make a whole movie documentary about that. Just because, like, it's just like the cast is so controversial, and you can find any redeeming aspects no matter how bad the movie is. Sometimes, like, the making of a movie is more fun than like the actual movie itself, you know. So, and I think we learned a lot about that today, you know. So, and yeah, we should have killed that. Whoever was the writer who came up with that Romeo and Juliet scene, like Aaron Yeager, wasn't it? Not Aaron Yeager. That's the
Aaron Kruger.
Aaron Kruger.
Not related.
Someone's. Let's just say, like, someone's got to check, you know, into him. Just take a look. Just take a look. You know. That's all I'm gonna say.
And it's so funny too, because like when you look at Transformers as like a whole, it's like this was a children's show about robots that are designed to sell toys, and we're going to throw in like, all right, I don't argue like feature films and live action films having a romantic thing. Sure, some people need that to engage them or whatever. Like it creates a a thing in the story. Like it creates like something for someone to fight for or whatever. But my God, you telling us that it was this specific situation does not equate to the fact that it's like we need a love interest thing. It's like, but let's make them not of that equal.
It just didn't need to do it. I don't know what was the thinking behind it. Because then the thing is, like, once he finally shows the card in the movie, Mark Wahlberg's like, oh, okay, you know, all right, I get it. I'll let you be with my daughter. Like, it's insane.
Because like, how many movies have we seen where it's like, oh, the daughter dates the bad boy, and like by the end of it, you realize like the bad boy's not so bad. He's actually okay and like decent, and you know, like you could have made him more like a rebel and not 5 years older.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing so messed up. Should have been him and TJ Miller. Not that TJ Miller didn't deserve to die too. You know, both of them. Get rid of him.
Hashtag should have been him.
It should also have been him. Let's know. But yeah, that's all I got.
Hell yeah. And everyone at home, thank you guys for watching or listening to this episode of Kill of the Week. I've been your host, Brandon, along with my cohorts, Jill, Carly, Jess, and guest James here. For anyone, oh, look at the baby. Who is that?
This is Link. He's coming inside.
Oh, the little hero of time. I love it.
You feeling okay?
He's okay. He's doing good.
Good.
Oh, that baby. I love him so much. With that, you can follow more of Kill of the Week news as well as anything else we have going on at Jerks Productions via Instagram, Facebook. We are not on X or Twitter. We have yet to branch over to Blue Sky or anything else, but we're on those socials. You can follow me personally on Letterboxd at Falcone123. That's where I post my honest reviews of films that I watch. 9 times out of 10, they are usually a 3-star and higher, because if you made a film, you deserve that credit.
What did you rate Xenon?
Honestly, we watched Xenon before I made.
You should go back and rate it.
It'll get the 2-star.
What about High School Musical 2?
That should get 5. Listen, with that reflection in the water, come on, 5 stars.
Soon we're watching Spice World.
I love Spice World personally. I had that shit on VHS.
Listen,
I love
next
Spice
year we
World.
Camp Rock, you know.
What was that? Are you okay? Well,
No one got that. That's okay.
No.
it doesn't seem like any of us would get that.
That's okay.
I had to explain Freddy Krueger to you just now. Do you think I understand what Camp Rock is?
Jesus. Does anyone have any other socials that they want to plug before I cut this off? No. All
I
right.
make food. It's
Nothing
80
there.
desserts.
There you go. All right. On that note, thank you guys, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for a new episode of Kill the Week. So thank you.